just putting the finishing touches on the tank pad so it's ready to go when the tanks get here. After we get the fabric down, we'll install 1 cubic yard of pea gravel. This will allow for a nice steady place for the tanks to sit. You'll see in a few minutes that I did not record that part, but there is really not much to it, and you get to see the finished product anyway. So. As you can see, we had plenty of help getting the tanks in place. The kids were super excited to be a part of it, aka play on the trailer, although they did get to push and roll the tanks, so that was probably pretty fun. The bottom of the tanks came with 2-inch bulkhead fittings installed, so we decided to use those fittings to connect the 2 tanks so that they can share the load of all the water that's collected. Alright, so apparently didn't record, so sorry about that, but what I'll do is I'll kind of talk to you about what I did. So now that we got everything dry fit, up in the air and dry fit, so we have some much better ideas about the length of pipes and connectors and all that stuff that we need. Now I'm going to connect them permanently. And so what I'm using is a combination of a primer and then a basically heavy glue. The idea behind it is that the primer prepares the pipe to receive the glue, and I'm no master plumber or by any means, but the way I understand that the combination of this and the PVC works is that with the primer and the glue, it essentially welds the 2 pipes together, if you will. I've spilled some of this stuff on my skin before and it starts to burn a lot, so I think that what I've read may be right, that it actually melts the PVC on either side and actually fuses them together. So either way, it's a great fit, and it securely holds everything as if it were one piece. So the other thing you might notice is this is not a standard T, PVC T. It's got a little slope to it, and I think the idea behind that, or I think the name of it, is a sanitary T. And I think the idea behind it is that when used in a sanitation type environment, it helps force the things that are associated with sanitization, you know, like toilets and stuff. Those types of things, it forces it down a certain direction. So I felt like, I mean, it probably isn't needed to have a sanitary T for just rainwater, but I felt like it's just one less opportunity for something to get clogged up. So if there were to get clogged up here, water coming down this direction and pushing water that way potentially might help free that up. I don't know. Anyway, I went with the sanitary T. So now we're going to just continue to put these together so that we can get it up in the air and held in place, and then we can start putting the fittings that are going to connect to the first tank. And then we're going to get our first flush system done, and then we're going to start running along the house. So here we go. Connecting the conveyance, or the input, to the tanks was one of the cooler parts. The rubber gasket we used fits 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC, but when you add up the outside diameter of the pipe and the outside of the gasket, you actually need a 5-inch hole saw. So that's what we used, and I still had to shave a little off with my razor knife. After installing the gasket, the next part was installing the pipe through the gasket, and this is where I learned a lesson from another YouTuber. I'll try to remember to put his link in the description or in a card in the top right of the video. But the trick is, you want the connection to be super tight to prevent bugs and other stuff from getting in, but that makes it super difficult to actually install the pipe. Biodegradable hand soap to the rescue. It provides just enough lubrication to get the pipe in easily. This is the first flush timer that I will talk a little bit more about in the component and system walkthrough. It would be impossible to tell you how much measuring and planning and thinking and measuring and thinking this project took. There were so many interdependencies between the various components that I probably spent more time thinking and measuring than I did actually doing the work. point in the build, water has already been collecting in the first tank where the water conveyance was installed. Now we will be connecting the two tanks with the 2-inch PVC and several shutoff valves so that the tanks can share the load.
Push with this hand and pull with this hand.
Don't do it yet.
All right.
Turn when you're ready.
All right, go ahead. Alright, next up in the rain harvesting series is part 3, where we talk about and show the pump house being built, the installation of the pump, the pressure tank, tank T, and water filtration, and then also the PEX pipe for distribution of the water so that we can actually use it. If you guys enjoyed this video and enjoy the content that we're putting out, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the like for each video that you do like, and then don't forget about the little bell. Click that bell and you'll be notified when we upload a new video. We really appreciate you guys watching and really do hope that this video and our other videos are beneficial to you. We're also always open to feedback, so please leave us comments or questions and we'll be happy to get back to you. See you guys in the next one.